Well, we had a rough night in some parts of the viewing area, heavy rain falling across the area. Now things have settled down quite a bit, but still in the northern counties, a couple of little spots of rain showing up. They're moving out of Montgomery County here, so that's good. That'll make its exit. Then things will really settle down. However, it's that northern part of the viewing area that may be under the gun for more severe weather in particular, as we still have lots of fronts around, lots of thunderstorms sending out their own little boundaries here and there. Very difficult forecast, but as it is right now, it looks great in Shiloh. You had heavy rain overnight. You can still see some of the puddles here on the parking lot at Memorial Hospital East from our BJC Skycam. Temperatures in the 70s and now 80s, up to 81 already in St. Louis as that sun is going to work. But watch by later on today at noon and then through the afternoon, especially in this northern half of the viewing area, some strong thunderstorms rolling through. And then overnight tonight, another round possible into the wee hours of tomorrow morning, much like we saw this morning with some strong storms, and then things settle down with maybe a few afternoon or evening thunderstorms in the southernmost parts of the viewing area on Wednesday evening. Again, an upgraded severe risk now. It's the northern half that's under a slight risk of severe storms. So we fully expect storms. A few of them could become severe. The high temperature today, 92 and near 90 the rest of the week. Hot and humid with spotty storms. News 4 Great Day is coming up next.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am.
Check, check, check. Hey, can we get a... Yeah, Greg, if I can get a little prompter, I'll be good.
Coming up on News 4 Great Day, there's progress in the race for a coronavirus vaccine. We are going to have some very encouraging news coming up.
Plus, there's plenty of debate regarding back-to-school plans, but one teachers union has an idea of their own.
And the NBA puts all of their players in a bubble. Is that plan working? Well, we're going to talk about it coming up.
Hey, Kent.
Yeah.
Do you have any spare change?
I didn't know I was supposed to answer. I don't have any change on me. I'm sorry.
Okay, then you're out. But if you do, you can find out how you can make bank off those quarters and pennies.
Hey, Laura.
Yeah.
Here's a story many of you can relate with. Why in the world do you have to go to the bathroom so much at night? We're making assumptions here, but just go along with it. All of this and more News 4 Great Day starts now.
It's a new day, nothing in a way. This is the start of something big.
What happened to the drums?
The
I've been
drums
gone
are
one day.
out and the music is in. Do you like it?
I don't know. I didn't get to really hear it.
I kind of like it.
I'll
It
have to
says
hear
it's
it.
a new day.
I know I'm going to hear
Whatever.
a lot of it over the next few years, but I want to hear it.
That's
all the
being
way through.
ambitious that you're still going to be here. For
Greg, can you
years.
play that for me in a break or something so that I can get the whole gist of it for me?
Perfect.
Okay,
He's going to
we'll do
play
that.
it in a break just for
Good.
Kent. Oh, well, good morning and happy Tuesday to all of you. Welcome to News 4 Great Day. It feels good to have you back with us this morning, Kent.
Oh, thank you.
Matt is on assignment, but we do want to hear from all of you on Twitter. Please tweet us at Great Day. At
Easy
News
there.
4 Great Day. Old dog, new tricks. It's a little hard.
Right.
And also use that hashtag GDSTL. Kent, we decided to keep the hashtag.
I was going to ask about that.
Yep, because if we switched it to N4GD, that goes to a radio station
Oh, we don't
somewhere.
want to do that.
So yeah,
All right.
not going to get that confused.
We are going to get to more of this, the Krispy Kreme coffee talk, in just a moment. But first, we want to check in with News 4's Maurice Drummond with a look at today's headlines.
Who's looking for spare change?
Me.
We are. You got
I'm gonna run down in my car.
Okay,
Perfect.
I've got, now that I think about it, I actually do have some in my locker. It's left over from the days before we had the vending machines that you could put.
Oh.
And every time I had change in my pocket, I'd throw it in my drawer so that, if I ever got stuck here at night watching
Yeah.
storms, I could go up and get a Twinkie or something.
Yeah. We don't have those anymore.
No, you can put your card in there now.
And we can't use them if we had them.
Well, in the old days, too, I would put a couple quarters in and just now I got my card. I'm like, oh, I'll
Right.
take one of these, I'm going to need
this.
something to drink.
Yeah.
Whole
But if you-
smorgasbord over there.
I'm yeah. But if you need some, I got some in my car.
All right, good to
Perfect.
know.
I'll run down. And good morning to you, everybody. Today, Governor Mike Parson will continue his tour around the state of Missouri to meet with local leaders on violent crime. Parson was in Kansas City yesterday, where homicides are up 30% in 2020. Parson will also be here in St. Louis on Thursday, where homicides are up also 30%. The tour comes before next week's special session, where lawmakers will discuss ways to try to crack down on crime. The St. Charles County Chamber of Commerce is encouraging all businesses to follow health guidelines as coronavirus cases continue to spike, and they've asked all businesses to follow CDC recommendations, which include observing social distancing guidelines as well as wearing a mask. St. Charles County reported 170 new cases yesterday. That's the largest single-day total. Cases are up 370% in the county over the last 2 weeks. And in comparison, cases across the entire St. Louis metro region are up 175% over the last 2 weeks. In O'Fallon, Missouri, St. Dominic's High School is urging parents and students to follow health guidelines after attending a graduation and prom. Nearly 24 people have tested positive following those two events. The school reports that those infected began showing symptoms after the graduation. That was on July 8th. The prom was on July 10th. St. Dominic High School begins classes on August 17th. Efforts to impose a mask requirement in Union have fallen short, at least for now. The mayor of Union wrote an ordinance to require the wearing of masks and put it on the agenda on last night's Board of Aldermen meeting. However, the topic was never brought up for any debate by the aldermen. The mayor tells News 4 that the ordinance may be brought up again down the road. Also happening today, the St. Louis Area Food Bank will host a couple of mobile markets to get food to families who are struggling during this pandemic. And there will be one at Zion Traveler Missionary Baptist Church in Riverview. That's going to be at 10 a.m. this morning. There's also going to be a drive at the City Garden Montessori on Tower Grove Avenue. That's going to be at 2 o'clock. These usually last around 2 hours or until supplies run out. No ID is needed. You just drive up and open up your trunk, and the volunteers will put that food in your vehicle. The St. Louis Zoo is reporting signs of improvement for its ailing elephant calf. Now, keepers say that he is showing signs of getting stronger, but he remains in intensive care.
Excellent.
The zoo reported last week that the calf was born with developmental impairments that have limited his ability to feed. The calf was born to Ronnie and Raji. The 27-year-old Raji is famous for being the first male Asian elephant ever born at the St. Louis Zoo. And if you're wondering what that little baby weighs, usually weighs up to about 250 pounds.
Hello.
So, yeah, so that's, I mean, maybe more. Looks like you might be weighing about somewhere between 300 and 400 pounds. Just amazing to me how these little babies, these little baby rhinos, I mean, they come out, weighing almost half ton.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
And this little baby elephant has already been out. My soon-to-be stepson saw him, and this weekend he was so upset with the news that the baby elephant had been sick. So great that it's doing better.
It is.
For 7 years, we did a show here at Channel 4 called At the Zoo. And we got to do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and we worked a lot with the people that work with the elephants. There's not a more caring group of people, of caretakers over there and caregivers. I mean, they take this very personally. They take it to heart because they have a huge bond with these animals. So I know they're doing everything in their power to make this little baby comfortable and healthy.
Try to nurse them back to health.
Yeah.
Mo, thank you. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.
You got it.
Let's go ahead and start with the Krispy Kreme Coffee Talk. And Kent, we begin with some promising news on the vaccine front. Very promising studies in 2 different countries have been happening, and they are giving a lot of people hope this morning. Today, a Chinese company will begin the final phase of its coronavirus vaccine trial. The results will be known by the end of October. If successful, though, doses could be mass-produced by the end of this year. Meanwhile, in England, Oxford University and pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca report that their vaccine caused an immune response in hundreds of patients. Scientists say it is a strong indication it can stop people from getting the virus. The next phase of this trial will involve 30,000 people, and it will begin next month. If the vaccine continues to prove successful, AstraZeneca says it is on track to start rolling out millions of doses by this fall. Kent, this is the news so many scientists and just in general, so many people have been hoping for and praying for.
Absolutely. And what you have to understand is that these drug companies are rolling the dice on some of this stuff, and they're going to start producing these doses even before they have approval and whether they know it's effective or not. On the optimistic side, they're hoping that this works, and if it does, then they'll already have millions of doses ready to go when it is approved, and they'll be able to get it out there right away. So then questions I have, and I mean, it's very encouraging. This is what we, like you said, this is exactly what we want. But my question is, there's still a lot of people who say they aren't going to take this vaccine, that they'll refuse it. If that's the case, and if there is a viable option, if you can get this vaccine and if it's effective to whatever percentage is acceptable, does everything go back to normal then, or do they say no because there's people that aren't taking it so they could still get sick? But that's not my problem. You're telling me now if we get this vaccine, we most likely won't get sick. This is basically like a flu shot, maybe even more effective. Who knows? I don't know. They'll tell us. But I think you have to let everything. I think you let your guards down at that point. It just seems to me, let the economy grow, let kids go back to school, and get everything back on track, get our social lives back on track. If people choose not to get the vaccine, that's not my problem.
Well,
does that make sense?
It does make sense, and I think a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on this too. So we will be discussing this topic on today's Great Day Extra Live. GDXL kicks off on the Great Day Facebook page around 10:15. We hope you can join us and chime in. GDXL is brought to you by the Bommarito Automotive Group, and it's so much more fun when we get that real-time feedback from the viewers, so we know what you guys are thinking at home.
Absolutely. All right. As schools release their plans for reopening, Florida's biggest teacher union has sued the state.
Ooh.
Florida teachers are suing to block what they call the reckless and unsafe reopening of public school campuses for face-to-face instruction. The union argues that reopening this fall would put students and school employees at risk, as well as accelerate the spread of the virus. Teachers are asking the state to implement online classes before reopening. The lawsuit coming the same day that Florida reported 10,000 new coronavirus cases. It marks the 12th day since the 4th of July the number has topped that threshold. See, I get really annoyed when we or other media outlets say how many new cases there are. We've heard about the testing issues. Nobody trusts these numbers because they keep saying, well, it's because they're testing more. We're testing more, so we're getting more. That doesn't tell me anything. Tell me about hospitalizations.
Right.
Tell me about the death rate. That's what matters. And in Florida, they're stressed to the max in the hospitals, and that's what you need to know. I think they make a very valid point, especially down there, is opening a petri dish. Kids are going to be taking it home to mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, neighbors, or whoever else they're in contact with on the bus. The school bus drivers, they take it home as well.
And the teachers will take it home to their families.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Not a surprise that out of all the states, this is the first union to make that decision to file the paperwork. Oh boy, but let's turn to some positive news. It has been 2 weeks since all of the NBA teams returned to practice, also in Florida, at the Walt Disney World complex there in Orlando. It turns out that keeping them cooped up in a bubble really seems to be working. The NBA and the Players Union jointly announced that there have been 0 positive COVID-19 test results from all 346 of the players tested since July 13th. NBA games are set to resume July 30th after being halted in mid-March amid the pandemic. Kent, I've listened to many podcasts about all of this. Here's the problem. They are all safe right now. They are not healthy right now. But if that season goes into August, September, October, are these players really not going to see their families for that long? Because once you bring in the families of any of the players or the coaches, and even with the people who are working all of this, I can't fathom that for months no one's going to have contact with anyone else.
I tend to agree with you, especially these high-paid, elitist athletes that are used to doing what they want to do when they want to do it and having everything handed to them. It's a lot to ask.
It is. And that brings us to our Facebook question. What sport are you the most excited to watch live again? Head on over to our Facebook page and share your answers with us.
Let's go Blues.
And Cardinals. Coming up on Great Day, we are thinking about all of you battling so many different illnesses right now. Man, COVID-19 has turned the healthcare industry upside down, and it's really hurt those battling breast cancer.
And speaking of health, screen time is turning into an unhealthy obsession for many Americans. Screen time, that is. We have a few things to work into your daily tech routine.
One positive thing that's coming out of the pandemic is reduced credit card debt. We'll make the correlation for you a little later on Great Day. We hope all of you are having a great day. And Kent, some people might be watching from a doctor's office. And over the last few months, elective procedures have been postponed. Many patients have waited to have their kids vaccinated, and some people have not felt comfortable even going to a hospital. And unfortunately, for those who are battling breast cancer, their care has taken a hit because of the pandemic. In April, early on in the coronavirus outbreak, the American Cancer Society recommended that doctors postpone any routine breast cancer screenings to protect at-risk patients from potential exposures. Delaying those appointments also led to the delay of some preventative treatments like chemotherapy, which is used to keep cancer from coming back. On July 2nd, the American Cancer Society encouraged women to resume their usual screenings, but some doctors fear that hitting the pause button for those patients will do long-term damage. Moreover, some women are just skipping their annual mammogram this year because it was canceled. For example, if they always get their mammogram in May, they might just wait until next May, which could lead to problems down the road. Kent, one of my girlfriends, her best friend is battling breast cancer, and I've talked to her a few times during this pandemic, and she's just said it's been awful for her friend because, as we mentioned, so many things have been pushed back for her, and it's been so much harder to watch that, and especially because people who do have those illnesses, they can't leave their homes either. So they're stuck at home constantly thinking about it.
You know, you look at things like breast cancer and colon cancer that if we can detect them early, you have a very high risk, a low risk, a high, cure rate. And to think that there's something that stands in the way of that is disturbing. And you're right. I mean, people may put it off until things settle down, and then they're going to have trouble getting in because things are going to get backed up as far as appointments are concerned. So that could get serious after a while. Well, from serious health talk to high-tech health talk, it might be time for a change of screen. With many working from home, there are negative health impacts from spending so much time with screens. Now, here are 6 ways to get rid of screen fatigue. Every 20 minutes, you should stare at something about 20 feet away for 20 seconds. 20 and 20. Can you remember that?
Yes.
20 feet away, 20 seconds. I did this when I was working at home.
Yeah.
And it can be very effective. This relaxes the eye muscles responsible for focusing and reduces overall fatigue. 20 and 20. Remember that. Find yourself in good light that will balance each other out. It looks like you'll find it easier to work if you turn on lamps or a light so your screen brightness matches the room. That way your eyes aren't opening and shutting as you move from darker to lighter shades. And don't forget to hydrate. That's an important one, believe it or not. Our eyes are surrounded by fluid, and they need it to function properly. Make sure your screens aren't too close to your face. They should be between 16 and 30 inches away and tilted away at a 10 to 20 degree angle. Tilted away. Isn't that weird? Doesn't that seem weird to you? What does tilted away mean? Like the top away from you and the bottom closer?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
But you want to be sitting up straight. You want it to be at eye level, right?
Or looking down a little bit.
Really? I always thought eye level. Take breaks away from your computer. This can be achieved by using the Pomodoro technique, which is 25 minutes of work followed by a 5-minute break. It's been proven to improve your concentration and creativity levels. Finally, snack on some cashews or walnuts. I'm all in for that one. Both of those contain omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin E, which are known to strengthen your eyes. I didn't know that.
Kent, my dad had a conversation this weekend where basically if you put your arm under you, you want your device to be as far away as the end of your elbow.
Oh.
So kind of a rule of thumb. And I think a lot of us don't follow it, and it's like
then I'm
this.
looking way down like that.
Well, you can have it up too,
Oh,
but
I
that
gotcha.
far away.
Okay.
Yeah, we have much more fun topics still ahead on Great Day. If you are out and about today, pick up the newest issue of Vanity Fair. We'll tell you what makes the cover of this magazine so special to St. Louisans.
And all registered Missouri voters can now vote by mail. But there's so much more you need to know, and we're going to talk to an expert next. But first, here's your Money Matters tip, brought to you by Securus Circle of Advisors.
I'm Chris Shreves, President and CEO of Circle of Advisors. Has the stock market affected your retirement plan? Call us today. Let us help you protect your principal Protect your interest and protect your income. 636-720-1900 or see us on the web, circleofadvisors.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Whether you know it or not, thanks to a new law in the Show Me State, all registered Missouri voters can vote by mail this year. But a lot of those ballots will have to be notarized. So, which ones can you get them notarized for free? Those are the questions. Andrea McNairy is with Brown and Crouppen, and she joins us this morning with the answers. Hello, Andrea. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for the time. There's a lot to get to here. Let's start with the absentee voters. Which absentee voters have to get their ballots notarized and which do not?
So you do not need your absentee ballot notarized if it is due to incapacity or confinement because of illness, or if you meet criteria for being exposed to COVID or you're high risk for COVID.
Gotcha, which could include a whole myriad of different things from respiratory illnesses to serious heart conditions, right?
Correct.
So then who does need to get their absentee ballots notarized?
So just like what traditionally people think of as absentee ballots, if it's because of religious beliefs or practices, or you're a poll worker, or you're incarcerated and still eligible to vote, you'll still need to get those things notarized.
Okay, and now this is the big change here. Thanks to this new law in Missouri, any Missouri voter can vote by mail for any reason, but there are requirements, and those requirements, I understand, include a notary. So how does that process work?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I would say the biggest thing to say about this very exciting new mail-in provision is that all applications to request a mail-in ballot must be received by July 22nd, so tomorrow. But they can be requested in person at the local election authority.
Got it. So once you get that ballot, you fill out the ballot, and then is it the return envelope that's notarized? Is that how it works?
It is. And another time limit, the ballot must be received by the election authority by 7 p.m. on election day. So the first thing you'll have to do is get it notarized. And then the second thing you'll have to do is get it returned on time.
Understood. The next question that everyone will want an answer to is, does that cost me money? Is there a way to get these ballots notarized for free?
There is. So since the mail-in ballot provisions, there has been a drive across Missouri to have places for people to get these notarized for free. So you can go on the Secretary of State website. There are all kinds of places and a list they compiled to have it notarized for free. There's also all kinds of notary drives going on this next weekend. And I'm sure the same thing will happen again for the general election.
And Andrea, I understand that one local bank is really making this process easy. Tell us about that.
Correct. Midland State Bank is offering free notaries through their drive-through at several locations across the area: Arnold, Clayton, O'Fallon, Rock Hill, St. Clair, Sunset Hills, and Weldon. So you can take advantage of that opportunity during bank hours. Go right through their drive-through and they'll take care of you. There's also a drive at Friendly Temple Missionary Baptist Church, Saturday, July 25th, 10 to 2. Again, it'll be completely drive-through and virtually contactless.
This is great, and it's important, I think, for the voting public to know this information. So, Andrea, we really appreciate you taking the time and breaking it all down for us. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You bet. Meantime, if you'd like to get in touch with the pros over there at Brown and Crouppen, you can call them anytime at 314-222-2222 or visit their website at getbc.com.